NSFW, what sexual fantasy do you have that may be considered embarrassing? I want a maxed out contribution to my 401k. I love tan lines. There's something about a person being tan all over their body except their breast/crotch that's just a big turn on. But for some reason, everyone I've told so far has laughed at it and just generally thought it was weird. Well, I want to have a threesome with my boyfriend and his twin sister. I know it's ducked, and he will never know about this. It all started when I was drinking with my BF and he got tipsy and confessed that when he was little he had his first date but he was nervous because he didn't know how to kiss. So he and his sister practiced together. I accidentally visualized it and now I can't forget it. I like the thought of a woman, preferably on the mature side, who is kinda embarrassed about sex due to religious hang-ups or something. But she finds me so irresistible that she can't help herself and goes wild with me. Bondage, but not sadomasochism. But not your normal run-of-the-mill bondage. We're talking full-on lockdown. Minimal movement possible. I have a fantasy of taking a girl to a bar and having her drink beer until she's tipsy and needs to pee. I don't let her go to the toilet. Instead, I take her to the alley out behind the bar, pin her against the wall with my body, and refuse to let her go. I want to hold my hand on the crotch of her jeans while tickling her with the other hand until she pees all over herself. Then I'll walk her back through the bar and take her home, shaming her for being a baby and wetting herself. Something about this makes me horny as hell. I'm not sure why. Queen fetish. I want my husband to duck other women. Not just wanting to watch him but everything that goes into it. I love when he's secretive. I get off on suspecting he's messaging other women. I fantasize about walking in on him with someone else in our bed. As you can imagine, not very many people know about my fetish. I've always been embarrassed by my foot fetish. It seems to be the fetish of choice for many a creepy dude and I don't want to be lumped in with them. Tied to the spire of a cathedral while an unimaginably massive swarm of ravens peck the flesh from my bones. I'm a straight female and I have a pregnancy fetish. It's not something I like to talk about with partners, cause it's kind of weird, uneasy face. I am 20 years old and I want to be taken in by a rich woman in age range from 35 to 50. I would be her personal sex associate and she would provide me with any luxury I wanted. I wouldn't even use the money to parley sex from younger women. As long as the 35 to 50 Y/O has large proportionate breasts and isn't completely hideous. I would be very faithful. Vacations galore. I'm into chubby girls and girls who gain weight. I know it's pretty embarrassing from the girl's perspective but to me it's a huge turn on. I want two chicks with strap-ons to tag team me. That'd be hot. They can force me to cross-dress too. I kind of have a thing for incest. Not real obviously. I don't want to duck my family. But I really like the idea of role-playing a situation like that. I was always too embarrassed to bring it up with my ex. I'm also really into old men using me. Basically raping me. Yeah, that's kind of a strong word, lol. I also really love the idea of using someone else. Obviously consensual. I don't want to rape someone, it's just the roleplay aspect. Maybe I should have made a throwaway. It involves peanut butter, zippers, a walrus and my cousin's roommate's sister's vacuum cleaner. So, I'm a 30-year-old woman. I like to role play as a teen. And I enjoy calling my partner daddy. I also enjoy dressing up a schoolgirl. One of my fantasies to have my daddy partner catch me smoking weed and then using sex to get me out of trouble. I've never been sexually abused. And I don't know why this is my fantasy. It makes me feel weird. And I only bring it up when I'm comfortable with my partner / not a first-time thing. / I like to pretend to be clueless and innocent. I've only ever been in age / appropriate relationships. I am what I like to call a narcissist. I would love to be able to bend myself over and go to town on myself. I have a reoccurring fantasy where I create a portal to an alternate dimension and pull myself from the other side. Then I push the other me up against the wall and go to town. But otherwise I'm mostly straight. Harry's hoping for human cloning. I sometimes wish I wasn't so physically imposing, really hard to play off as a QT trap with a 65 frame. Wide shoulders and generally endomorphic stance. I see myself standing in sort of sun god robes on a pyramid with 1,000 naked women screaming and throwing little pickles at me. I've actually set my fantasies in the same world as each other. Setting. A meat-vile world where shapeshifters exist, who have the ability to swap at will between an animal form and a human. These shapeshifters live as hidden as possible, humans hunt them as trophies or status symbols. Humans also shackle them by attaching collars that limit their ability to shift at will. An example of a fantasy if I'm in the mood for some rape. I'm living happily as a shape-shifting eagle with my husband, a fellow eagle shapeshifter. We have a nice happy life on the mountain until one day mate rescues a severely damaged dude. We nurse dude back to health and he repays us by attempting to rape me when he is almost healed. Horrified. Mate kicks him out and we go back to our lives. A few months later, our house is raided and mate is killed. Why? Turns out the dude we kicked out was the crown prince of the kingdom and wanted revenge. They shackle me and take me back to the palace. I could go on. It's a multi-part story in my head and I can get off to each. I have this lesbian housewife fantasy with a stereotypical military twist. I clean the house, iron her clothes, pick up her dry cleaning and have an amazing dinner ready every night when she gets home from whatever military thing she does all day. Then she ducks me however she wants for however long she wants. Then, a few hours later, I have breakfast and coffee ready for her downstairs. Rinse and repeat every day. I guess it embarrasses me because it's so boring. The girl I'm seeing right now has the absolute hottest body I've ever seen with absolutely perfect tits. And is super kinky, into bondage. Public sex. We once had sex in the back of my car in a parking garage while people were walking right past. Sex with other women while I watch. Having her nipples pinched as hard as I can. Touching her anywhere literally anytime I feel like it. She gets upset if I don't pay enough attention to her tits. The list goes on. So, basically, her. She is my absolute fantasy and I can't stop thinking about her despite the fact that she's also kind of frustratingly narcissistic and uncommunicative. Amid a bunch of other bad behaviors. But I just don't seem to care. Treat me badly as long as I get to keep ducking you. See. You are a unicorn if I've ever met one. Well, I'm 23. I fantasize about being pegged by a woman in her 30 to 40 and also participate in MMF bisexual sex. And also about sex with beautiful trans like Mia Isabella and Serena Valentina. And yes, I'm a dude. I'm embarrassed by it. Personally. But having a three-way with my husband's best friend. Like those pornos. Husband and wife have a three-way with husband's best friend or husband lets best friend duck wife kinda scenario. I feel like I should be ashamed of feeling turned on by that. Throwaway time. I never realized I was into this fantasy until one day I had the hiccups. My girlfriend, in an attempt to stop them by giving me a fright, blurted out I had sex with another guy last night. Indeed. This stopped my hiccups and she laughed and declared it a success. However, I now had a bulge growing in my pants. Previously when I thought about her with someone else, I naturally didn't care for it. Now it's pretty much all I masturbate to. I picture her with friends of mine. Friends of her. That guy walking past me in the street? Sure. Why not? I'm having sex with her right now? Let me just imagine I'm that good friend of ours instead. Or that dude who served us in the restaurant the other night. I've even set up blank accounts on hookup sites and apps so I can see what sort of guys are in the area and, theoretically, available to, theoretically, have sex with my girlfriend. I have not mentioned this to her. Despite us being together for 5+ years as she is quite vanilla in bed and does not have a high sex drive. Also no doubt the suggestion of something like this when you are totally not into it would potentially put a strain on the relationship. So, for now, and probably forever, it's all in my head. I've always wanted to be in a situation where the other person, willingly, acted ignorant to it all, like, am I turning you on? Why are you hard? Or a mommy sort of thing where I'm being nurtured sexually. Also to be stuck and ducked against my will. And then also to have a duck toy, willing, slave sort of relationship with someone where I use them as I please.